And you feel bad about lots of things.
No, I'm okay.
Kid says he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm okay.
Yeah. Eating bacon dipped in pudding.
He's doing his best. Yeah, that's the definition of not okay. Hey, bud, you're eating pudding bacon.
And only eating the bacon when suggested to eat the bacon.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
If it's not under NDA, what are you drawing? I'm curious.
What?
What are you drawing?
I am working on my map right now.
Hey, we're live, by the way.
Are we?
Oops.
Hello.
Hold on, I need to forget all my NPCs' names.
Nice. Done.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nerds with Dice. Tonight we are playing Rift's Ballad of Fates, and as normal, our usual schedule starts on Sundays with the Gehenna Principle on Sundays at 2 p.m. EST. They've had a few difficulties, but hopefully we'll be back next week. Monday at 2 p.m. EST is the Long Road Home, a Wander Home campaign. Of course, Tuesday nights is this lovely game. Wednesdays is Kingdom Hearts Dreams of Nobody at 1 p.m. EST. And Thursdays is Calling All Heroes New Athenians at 8 p.m. EST. And Fridays is supposed to be Warehouse 15 at 8 p.m. EST. And before I forget, we have merch. You can check that out through the link in the chat or by heading over to Twitter and Nerds of Dice. The link is in the bio. Alright, I think that is everything.
Right, hello everybody, and welcome to Rift's Ballad of Fate. The group has been embarking on a quest to discover their purpose as a group, the things that bind them together, and the fundamental interconnectedness linking several dimensions. Lately they have been in Old Bones, which used to be the city of Quebec, but is now kind of a lawless town inside of a human supremacist nation. And so the group is the group has to be careful not to leave Old Bones in the wrong manner, lest they run into a troop of glitter boys out to kill. But in Free Quebec, they found themselves embroiled in a mystery as someone posing as Ivy, Peppermint's sister, just assassinated a famous pilot. And much political hay is being made out of that by the more conservative factions of Free Quebec. All right, so let's go around and give ourselves the quick introductions, and then we'll pick up roughly where we left off. All right, so Peppermint.
Hi everyone, I am Nerdy Teddy, and tonight I will be playing Peppermint, our nature mage / healer.
All right, Jeddah. You're muted. You have to unmute the Zoom. We switched things up a little recently.
Okay, so I have to be in both of them? Oh, cool. Hi, guys. My name is Maxine Bachman, and I will be playing your Elemental Fusionist today.
All right, thank you so much. All right, next up is Freya.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I play Freya, who's a human spy, but she's also a Nightbane, which means I also play Rohan, an 8-foot tall being with a 20-foot wingspan and a flaming sword.
All right, Starissa.
Hi, I'm Kate. I play Starissa, our DB Mystic.
Okay. Kid.
Hello, everybody. I'm Evan Jennings. I'll be playing Krogahel Kid, a half-human, half-dwarven blacksmith who's going through some stuff.
And Greeks.
Hi, I'm Ting. I'm playing Greeks, a goblin-looking DB Sci-Tech.
All right. So, I'm trying to remember exactly where we ended. The group had discovered that there was a being posing as Ivy, and that it was linked to another character called Tirgix that was a scientist on Greeks' homeworld, as well as a mysterious shadowy figure in armor. I'm not sure how much I described.
A black void.
Yeah, they
like
were
a
a black
void.
void in the one image. I'm
Yes.
not sure if you got any other descriptions.
No.
Yeah, complete black void, yes. All right, because you saw them through a psychic flashback. You had gathered that information. Trying to remember if you'd come back together.
That's
Yeah,
where
we-
we ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, we came back together
All right. So you're all there. The day is mostly through. It's starting to be nighttime again. You could rest up for the day, or you could go out doing things, or you could continue to chase leads down.
Is the nightclub back open?
That nightclub is not going to be open tonight, but tomorrow it's said to be reopening tomorrow.
Okay.
There was a couple of leads we got before we ended. There was the radio station people, and there was still I could still go talk to the friend who's now a part of the security
Who
team.
owns that club, actually? Oh no, wait. You did have a friend on in the security
Of the city.
Sean?
of city security. Yeah.
Yeah, Millar. So we have the gossip person, Nanny Cant, that we haven't talked to. And then
Oh, yeah.
Millar is the friend in the security staff. Because we talked to Simone, they talked to Simone, who was in the alley. Peppermint and Freya talked to Juniper.
Juniper
So
Wang.
while
Yeah.
the four was talking to Simone, we were talking to Juniper. And then we've come back together and realized, that we think it's a convergence of they wanted to get rid of the pilot because he was acting on his own and starting to become trouble. And Ivy is the person next door, like the threat, the local threat, the menace. Anybody can, all of a sudden kill somebody because this one true network people, they're a moral panic basically group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we figured out.
We'll say it's the One Truth Network. The One Truth Network.
One Truth Network. Okay.
OTN.
Would I know? Does the One Truth Network, do they play all day?
Constantly. A lot of it is just reruns from earlier in the day. They have about 3 hours of content that they run for 24 hours a day.
Ouch.
Yeah, maybe we can watch a little bit of it. Maybe when we're upstairs having dinner, having a conversation, and just see what we're up against.
It's exactly what you think it is. It is a fear-mongering network that constantly has 4 tickers on the screen. So, the 4 might be a bit much, but there's always an expert on who doesn't actually know anything about anything, just talking. There's always a good bottom inch of the screen is taken up by a scroll that's promising that the Prime Minister's latest brilliant move to bring the coalition, keeping the coalition at bay, but yet making them an ally, spouting about some new economic incentives that the Prime Minister forced the coalition to pass. There's what look to be several opinion shows, and again, that's people talking, that just talking. There's one guy who just always looks confused and angry, just blathering endlessly. And Kate, I think you might be muted.
Yep. I said, and it was Alex Jones.
No, I was thinking of someone else, but we'll call him Cason Howell.
That's a good name. I could just see Jetta watching it, and then it gets to the end. Hey guys, it just started. It's like
It does.
again.
See here, yeah, it goes.
So the Prime Minister? They actually like the Prime Minister, and they like the coalition.
Yes, that network. They like it when they like it as opposed to the things they don't like. But Peppermint will remember. Actually, you both would remember that One Truth Network got during the right before Free Quebec broke away from the coalition was when One Truth Network emerged. The network's not that old; it's only a couple of years, but has grown pretty big among the loyalists. For a while, Free Quebec broke with the coalition, and over differences between opinions on cybernetics and juicers, opinions over use of psychics and dog boys, and Free Quebec's refusal to just hand over the technology to produce glitter boys.
But they were originally working with the coalition.
They were a coalition state that declared independence during the Tolkien War. Then Tolkien was trying to be like, hey, Free Quebec, work with us. We hate the coalition too. And then we were like, no, we hate you more. So, yeah.
Like the lesser of two evils is we'll play their show and be our own person.
Yeah. So, Free Quebec.
They're against glitter boys?
The coalition does not control glitter boys, so they're against it.
But they would control glitter boys.
Free
if they
Quebec
could.
produces glitter boys. It's the only place known to produce glitter boys on this planet. Well, it's the only place known to produce glitter boys, I should say. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there like a affiliate station in the O-Bones?
The main station is based out of Old Bones.
No, so they're broadcasting from
Yeah, they're in town.
in the city.
Yeah.
So somebody has to be there theoretically to make sure all the equipment's running properly. So we could go knock on their door, but the person running it might not know anything.
Would just be a lamp.
Yeah. It's just going to be some tech that is just, I'm here pushing buttons.
Just restart it when it ends.
I
Can
mean,
we
then-
find out who
then-
owns it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do we know who the boss is?
Let's see. This is a weird intersection of streetwise and business.
I was gonna say, or do you want me to roll history
Yeah,
recent?
give me a history. Michelle, Freya can give me a streetwise.
Okay.
Sarissa, you have no clue. There is no way you would know.
Nope.
Like, Jeddah may have signed the company over to them and forgotten. It's hard to
I
say.
got a 51 under 52.
I got a 34 under 45.
Okay, so both of
Something for
you
Daisy.
have heard the name. That's a good one. Bartholomew Nielsen.
Oh, I like that.
That's strong. That's a strong name.
Bartholomew.
Actually, no, it would be more French than that. It would be
Just say it with an accent.
Bartholomew.
what would be French
Bartholomew.
for Bartholomew?
Bartholomew. I just said it.
It doesn't feel very French.
A little stronger on the T than
You don't get.
great.
You can't. You don't know.
Oh, it's got to be some sort of Jacques that's
Yeah, well,
owning
everything's
it.
a Jacques.
Literally
Uh,
everyone's name here is Jacques.
Bartholomew.
Oh well.
Bartholomew?
Never doubt me again.
You were nowhere near Bartholomew.
I will pretend that I was close.
Bartholomew. Bartholomew Nielsen.
I will insist that I was close until people believe me.
Was a former or the son of a high-ranking general in the Free Quebec Army who died many years ago. Kind of in a skirmish that some said was caused by the coalition, but was quite wealthy. Is said to be their family is somewhat involved in the production of the military units of Free Quebec, and is very much the equivalent of a billionaire.
So somebody who definitely benefits from stirring up trouble.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a name we could potentially go knocking on the door of, but he's definitely going to have security if he's...
Yeah, your
rich.
Freya, you would know knocking on that door is not going to happen.
Yeah, no, we're not going to get anywhere near that door.
Yeah.
Why don't we just ask to talk with them?
Set up a meeting.
No, I mean pretend that we're somebody that he wants to talk to, and then talk to him.
That sounds like something Freya could do.
I like talking to people as well. I'm very good at talking to people. I could go with you and talk to people.
Or wait, these people, they're like human supremacists, right? They only like humans.
Yep.
What if we could get them an interview with the most non-human person in this town, which is Greeks?
I would be afraid for Greeks' life.
I mean, we could.
I'm the most non-human.
I would be afraid for
I'm just
Greeks'
assuming.
life. That is not.
I don't know
we're
if
not.
that's.
It is
We
a
are not-
pretty human-centric town, but Greeks is not the only non-human.
Yeah, we are not using Greeks as bait. No.
I meant more just to get the guy's attention. You know what I mean?
No, he's rich. That's not enough.
I mean, if you want to talk to someone from the network, that could probably be done. Like,
yes.
Like, you're not going to get a meeting with Rupert Murdoch, but you might get through to a producer on one of the shows. There is one of the shows that's always looking for story leads that has, like, a We the People segment about injustices in Free Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
What they believe are injustices in Free Quebec.
Their poor oppression that they're experiencing.
Wait, hold on. We could definitely have some fun with them, mess with them, and just send Jeddah and Starissa onto the show, and then.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I do like that very much.
Another distraction.
Yeah.
Yep. That certainly wouldn't cause any security forces to respond.
Yeah. I think that would be not, again, we don't want to put our team members in
Your faith
jeopardy.
in us is just on point.
Okay. I mean,
but
you can do that.
We need absurd. Starissa? Jeddah?
No, I think. So my goodness, like, what would get us on one of their shows?
I could pretend to be human, or well, you're the most human, I guess. You and I squint my eyes at Peppermint. Human?
Yes,
I never asked.
Yes, I'm human, but I don't think I should go on the show when they're looking for my sister.
I know you're not.
My twin sister.
I always get a supernatural vibe from you. I don't know why.
Bone in the hair and the skirt.
It might be the bones. It might be the bones. Either way, then maybe Freya could get Freya. What if you pretend that that a non-human like punched you or something, or screamed at you or something? Then you could be like, ah, and then he'd want to listen to you yell about it. I mean, they're assholes, right? So if you just be a really big asshole, they're probably going to want to bring you on their show to also be an asshole with.
We could tell them that
Or we could have Jeddah destroy the building. And
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know what
plan. I don't know what the second part of that plan is.
Another bombing.
Yeah.
I'm for that.
Well, hold on, but at that point now, I have to.
That
put
would
my
get
foot
the
down on
authorities involved.
Well, because at that point we're no longer heroes, we're terrorists, because we're just bombing something we don't like, as opposed to something that's genuinely
I think it needs to be something more along like they're taking. Oh gosh, I have to channel. Oh God, I have to be so white American right now.
So I just want to remind Freya that going on TV might not be a great idea for Freya.
Well, I do have disguise.
Yeah.
What about me? Nobody knows who I am, and I look pretty human.
A lot of people know who I am. I just keep forgetting I know who they are. I believe
I
a
look
lot of people
completely human right now.
Does she?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like some like bizarre, like her hair keeps changing color or something. No. Okay. Oh, there's also that.
That is true.
Starissa, would you be able to go? Would you be able to pique their interest by? I mean, do we like that plan of pretending to be like offended by non-humans like you have some great story to tell about how shitty dwarves are. Tell them about how evil
Why
dwarves
are we
are.
telling
I
them
mean-
stories again?
Yes. What is the point? What is your goal here? I know that seems like a fun scene, but what is the actual?
Because
Uh,
Kevin, this is what Rips is now.
We
I'll be
want to
honest,
see-
I was only thinking about the scene and I had forgotten the plan. So if I would also like to remember what the actual plan is.
So
To
our
see-
original goal was to get a meeting with the producers, and then I
Yeah.
made a joke.
Yes, yeah,
about
but
putting-
why do that?
to try to get information from one of the producers.
Oh, well, we don't have to do all this. Let's just go ask him. Where does he live?
We don't know.
All right, well,
I mean, we have a couple of other leads that we could talk to and maybe come around back to the bug the TV people, but doing that tonight's probably not going to work.
we have
can
a
also
We
come from the-
can sneak into the station and I can get information from the
yeah,
equipment.
we can do that.
That
We
It's
can
just
also come from
information.
the angle of
Yeah.
having an idea already, but needing pieces to put into place, and that way we give a little and they give a little, but neither of us have to give fully, I guess. I see flaws in this plan. Never mind.
What?
Yeah,
Okay. how
We're good
about-
at sneaking. Greeks is definitely good with the.
I like the idea of sneaking. I'm not good at that, so maybe that's more of a Freya and Greeks and possibly Peppermint with Snowdrop sort of thing. Is there someone else that I can go talk to? Maybe me and Jetta and Starissa can go yell words at. Why is my microphone getting louder and louder?
I am also rewind. I also do have the ability to walk through walls.
Yes.
I stated earlier.
I
Oh, shit.
actually think me, Jeddah, and Greeks, we could
Okay.
do.
Can
And
you
then
take somebody
maybe
with
if
you?
There
Huh?
may be more wine here.
Can you take
Yeah.
someone with you when you go through a wall?
I don't think Kevin.
Uh,
Kevin.
How do you go through walls?
Kevin. With PPE. I say, hey Kevin, I'm gonna go through a wall, and then I use the PPE.
Do you have it as a spell, or is it a power of your class? You don't know.
It's a
Or do you
I
just say
wanted to
please
do
until
it.
it happens?
and so I said, Kevin, can we make a character that I can do it? And you said this class can do it. And
It
so
says here's 4 ways to do that. Dig, locate minerals, wall of stone, quicksand.
it goes
animals,
travel
animals,
through walls
animals.
is what I have.
Yeah, they're not in alphabetical order.
No,
I
it
think.
says self. My range is self. But if I'm like holding somebody, like if I just
Does not.
hug like
Nope.
Kid or Freya, can I
Nope.
be like, whoop?
Nope.
Aw.
But no, you found good information from before, found out there was the basement, and things like that. So that was very helpful.
And I did not put gravel in his shoes. I was going to. I thought that would be funny, but I did not do that.
Thank you. Thank you
I
for
also
that.
was going to take his sword because that was really cool and shiny. It was really hard for me not to, but I did not do that as well.
Proud of you that you refused to take the shinies.
He was
Smart.
very shiny.
Yes.
But I want to see the sword.
It was beautiful. It was so pretty. It was like long and, if I'm not mistaken, like flamey. I think it was flamey. I think there was like flamey stuff to it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The
So,
Yeah.
sword. The guy in the basement. He had like a sword.
I don't remember that. I remember he had boots.
did
I don't
have
think he had a
sword?
sword. I don't think he had a sword.
Maybe Maxine
Jetta.
is
You mean
turning
the
into
club?
Jetta.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble.
I just remember
Jetta
wine in the club.
apparently, yeah, there was
Yeah.
bottles of wine. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
remember if I mentioned it or not, but he definitely had a weapon.
Yeah, I thought it was a sword.
But I don't think you ever saw it because it was under his pillow.
Yeah.
Then that was meta. His boots were really cool.
That is Jetta.
Did have really cool boots.
They're
Yeah.
really cool boots. They also were very shiny.
Yeah. So me, Jetta, Greeks, try to sneak into like the network place. And then, I don't know, Peppermint, did you want to talk to another one of your friends?
We could go talk to Marlo.
Yeah, me and Stressy can help.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Peppermint, how well do you know of Sir Vasquez's reputation? Is he a just person,
Yeah.
a
The
good
reputation that
person?
you had on Sir Vasquez is he is lawful first before he is good.
Yeah, he's
No, he's a hard charging, good like he does not want to see innocents in danger, and will do whatever it takes to make someone, to make sure that a bad guy gets taken out.
So is he like Judge Dredd or something?
A bit more, not as homicidal as Judge Dredd.
Aw.
Okay.
So we could take the evidence we gathered to him and to clear Ivy's
it's
name.
not enough. It's not enough.
I mean, what evidence do you have currently?
We don't
A
have
bag?
any. We have psychic visions and a bag.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Wait, this guy is like the sheriff, right?
He believes himself to be, yes.
And he's not a human. He's a cyber knight, isn't he?
He is a human cyber knight.
Yeah.
Are cyber knights human? I thought they were like
Some
robot
cyber knights are
people.
human. They are cyborgs. They are psychic cyborgs
Oh, right. This town is okay with cyborgs.
with laser
right?
swords. This town isn't okay with him.
Oh.
This country doesn't like him, but Old Bones is where anyone can kind of get away with existing. To an extent. If he became too loud or
That's the
became
most fucked up thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
This is a place where you can get away with existing. Like, that's so fucked up. Not even get away with like being a criminal, even though it's full of crime. You
Oh,
can
it's
just get
full of
away
criminals.
with being you. It's like
But there are other parts of this country where it's just not safe to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chi-town and stuff.
Yeah.
Or we're in Canada, right? Quebec.
Yeah.
In Free Quebec. But this is kind of like the neutral territory on the border of Free Quebec and what is now Shimerian territory, or declared itself to be Shimerian territory. Shimerians are the
Lady warriors.
Lady
who are
warriors,
super cool.
cyborgs. Yeah.
Does
Super
all,
cool.
Robots. Yeah,
does
no one
all
knows.
of Canada suck?
Not all of Canada.
Okay.
Some of Canada is super awesome.
Okay,
Is
cool.
Laszlo in Canada? I forget.
Yes.
The country of Laszlo.
I'm sorry to sidetrack us. I apologize. I just like
It's
to learn
okay.
more stuff.
You're just recalibrating on the world. It's all right.
Yeah, it's true.
Boof.
Woof woof.
Boof, boof. Dumb dog
The
boys.
pups.
Come on, guys. It's too late for this.
I know that game.
Oh,
My dogs see anybody and they freak out.
yeah. The middle of Canada is filled with bugs.
Cool.
I
It's
was
not
gonna
that- but okay.
big bugs.
No.
I assume not.
Yeah,
not
it's
just
Zytikic.
fucking giant bugs. Gotcha. Okay.
I
Yeah, it's
like
Zytikic.
big bugs and I cannot lie.
All right. So we have a plan.
Do you?
Me,
Uh-huh.
Jetta, Greeks, go sneak into the network, see if we can find out any information. Peppermint, Starissa, and Kid go talk to their security friend.
yes.
There we go. Plan.
I like it.
Plan.
All right.
So good we have a leader.
Yeah, you're a
did-
good leader.
There's a fact.
What? When did that happen?
I'm just glad that I do not have to. That never ends well.
But you're an awesome leader.
Okay.
All right. We cut to
I mean,
a bar not too far from Nature's Spirits, where there is like a Free Quebec, or this one would be Old Bones security bar. It is a old-fashioned looking place. You don't see a single non-human in like around it. You do see that there's a few psychics about, but it doesn't look like psychics are trying to hide themselves in this area. But this is one of the older, crustier parts of the town. Let me see if I can open Drive twice. I think I can.
By the way, my roommates are being a little bit loud, but I can't tell if you can hear them or not.
I
So
can't
just let
hear.
me know.
Not at all.
Nope.
Just throw stuff at them.
I feel like they're just
Bottles.
rolling something along the wall, just back and forth.
Yes.
Cool,
Yes, that's
cool,
what's
cool.
happening. Anyway. Where's the map of Old Bones? Old
You
Bones,
look
map
good,
of
bro. You
Districts
too, bro.
156. All right. So the you come to a need a good bar name. Anyone got a good old-fashioned like crusty bar?
The Krusty Guzzler.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah,
Ew.
yeah, it is.
Ew.
Ew. Yeah, it's
That
good,
is.
though.
No, it's
It's
not.
good, though.
That is actively bad.
I have a book in my backpack that has a random table for.
It just
Tavern.
sounds like the Krusty Krab at this point.
All right, how about the Krusty Gargler then? Is that even worse? I think that's even worse.
It's Canada. It should be something moose.
It should actually be something French.
The Krusty Moose.
Yeah. No
Krusty
crusty. No crusty.
Les crusty moose.
Les Krusty Moussoirs. We did it. Kevin, it's Les Krusty Moussoirs, please. One,
Oh.
I would like one Les Krusty Moussoirs, please, Kevin. Thank
But no,
you.
there are multiple. So Le Krusty Mies.
Okay, so the
Les
way
Krusty Mousses.
this one is actually called or no, I'm not going to use that.
You're not using crusty enough.
No, because the term for moose in French is male.
Crusty Molly.
No crusty. No crust.
Who votes for crusty? I would like to vote for
Mel.
crusty, please. Okay,
No
nice.
crusty.
Two. We got
This is
I
not a
put
democracy.
2 hands up and the other
Yeah.
2 hands are down.
The game
so it's
boss
50-50.
has said no crust. So therefore no
Game boss has
crust.
degraded.
the game. That's true. It's the game.
How about
boss
the
is
crustless toast?
No.
The toasty something is nice. It could be like a breakfasty kind of tavern.
No, this place is called the Bull Moose.
The what?
The Bull Moose.
Bull moose.
Nice.
The crusty bull moose.
No.
No crust. Stop it with the
The
crust.
sandwiches there
Can
are
it be
all
that
on
somebody
pitas.
wrote crusty on the sign?
The only crust you'll get is on your martini glass.
Gross.
That's
Or
their,
actually
that's their
on-
tagline.
You will actually get it on the creme brulee and potentially on the onion soup. Anyway. It is a bar with a old, like, you walk in and smoke does come billowing out when the door opens. There is no bouncer, but there is, as soon as you go in, you see a lot of pictures of people in badges, in Free Quebec security uniforms. You see a lot of people with bionic limbs there.
Hot bar.
Yeah, it's essentially a cop bar. There's a couple of regulars, a couple of old guys, a couple of old ladies there, talking about the good old days, 10 years ago, when everything was just as dangerous.
Remember, they're all eating member berries. Maybe.
There is a lot of whiskeys here. The place smells like whiskey and cigars a bit, but it's not as fancy as Axe. There's a jukebox that's playing country music in French.
All right.
All right, you look around the bar, and did you let your pal Millar know that you were on the way, or did you just ask around and find out where they were?
Just asked around and found out where they were.
Okay, so Millar's sitting there after a shift, drinking a whiskey, and attempting to flirt with the barman, but it is not going well. The barman is a one of those. Millar actually is a bald man. He's tall. He's a little heavy set. He's a bald man with a big, fancy kind of handlebar mustache. And the barman is wearing your standard, like, if you've ever watched Cheers, you know the picture in the background on Cheers, like the old like waistcoated bartender.
That guy.
Yeah, like you'd see the bartender at a fancy restaurant. He's dressed like a bartender at a fancy restaurant, even though this place is not fancy at all. Well, it wants to be fancy, and is giving the professional courtesy of allowing Millard to flirt with him, but not going much further.
So how do we want to do this? Do you want us to be your muscle?
Just hang back for now. Let me get the conversation started. And
Okay. Strissy, do you want to eat steak?
Oh, I like steak.
So do I. Let's sit down and order whatever meat they have.
That
It takes
sounds great.
you. There's plenty of empty booths. You find one. There is a menu. My daughter just decided to start yelling, and I don't know what she yelled, but it sounded superhero-ish. I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's a menu like on the table already. It is laminated. There's also a list of local beers and other things. So you sit down. There's a tablet on the table where you can put in your order.
Nice. Futuristic.
Yes, you have to pay
Whoa.
immediately. Right. So
I don't have any money.
I have money.
there's a slot for credits.
I got you. It's on me.
All right. Peppermint.
so Peppermint's gonna walk over and gently like put her hand on their back and sit down and say, "Hey, babe, there you are."
When
Just
you
to
look-
fuck with it.
yeah. He looks at you, babe. One was Peppermint. What are you doing here? How have you been? And gives you the biggest bear hug. That like squashes you a bit into his light
Bear
armor.
hug.
Yeah, I guess I did. just
Was that
stereotypical kind
intentional?
of bear.
Or was that unintentional?
Unintentional.
A happy accident that was.
Been out of town.
Yeah, I had heard about some trouble with that. It's good to see you.
It's good to
Glad
see
to-
you too. I wish it was.
Oh my gosh, I'm just
Personal.
realizing your sister.
Yes, it's that kind of here on business. But we should catch up sometime. Actually, sit down and catch up sometime.
Yes, I was just discussing with Jacques here. But I guess I'll be back, Jacques. And, do you have somewhere you would like to go privately to talk, or the booths here are not bugged?
We can go sit over there with my friends, and we'll point over to Sturrison Kid. If you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. This big burly man comes over, sits down. He has a big side. He's got like a holster with a large laser rifle, not laser rifle and holster, laser pistol. And on his other hip is a stun baton, as well as like a belt which clearly has, other cop things on it. He's wearing brown pants with a red stripe down them, and a brown button-down shirt with a Free Quebec badge on it, which is opened. And introduces himself to you. I am Millard. Pleasure to meet you both.
Hi.
He towers over Kid. He's about 6'2".
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna say he's 6 feet wide, but he is
But
a
he's
wide
big.
gentleman. Yeah, he's a big, burly gentleman. Suddenly, I'm turning him into the mustachioed version of Wendy's dad from Gravity Falls.
The lumberjack.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved that guy.
I love that show.
But yes, he goes,
Good
so,
Brenda.
your sister has been come across some reports I've seen every now and then.
Oh, but that's not true.
Are you saying I haven't seen these reports?
Wait, are we lying to this guy, or are we gonna tell this guy the truth? I'm not sure what the deal is.
We can tell him the truth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, strange question to ask directly in front of me, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I can never remember who we're lying to, who we're not lying to. It gets
When
very.
s- it,
Now you're
It's
starting
not-
to sound more like Ivy.
I'm not that much of an asshole.
The question doesn't seem so strange once you've gotten to know a kid, but yeah, look, I know you got your job to do, but if there's anything you know about this situation, we've got, granted not enough, but proof enough to keep pursuing it that Ivy didn't kill Guillermo. I just need
I mean,
more
it would be a
help.
massive escalation in her pattern. Or in her behaviors.
Yeah.
She's not a murderer. She's a runner and smuggler and thief and liar and hacker.
All those things.
I mean, just the jaywalking tickets alone, it's like she goes out of her way to get them.
Oh, yeah, she does. She does.
Probably
Me-
does.
yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped burying them as soon as I figured out that that's what she was doing. It didn't seem like they were ever going to collect the money or stop her anyway.
Yeah, probably not. But do you know anything that could help us?
I know the lead inspector on the case is the drunkest we have.
Okay.
How
Inspector
did he?
Perrault is never been an inspiring inspector.
This seems like a high-profile case to give to the guy that.
He's been well known for being useless.
Yeah, unless
Unless
you don't want it
don't.
investigated.
This is Old Bones. It wouldn't be the first time a major death has been handed to him to investigate, and quickly closed.
Oh, then it's not a problem.
It generally ends with the death of the suspect.
Oh.
It
We
means
don't like that.
It
No, I
means
feel
that
like
they
that is a
want it
problem.
open and shut. They don't want anybody looking deeper. They.
Oh, so set her up and then kill her and say that she like attacked them or whatever, and then that's a free, easy hit. That's evil.
Yeah, only in this case they're getting security to do it because then they don't have to get their hands dirty.
Does seem a rather roundabout way for this town. If you want someone dead, generally you just make it happen.
I was gonna say this place seems pretty rough though. Like, why go through all that trouble?
I don't know.
Are there a lot of what are you? What's your job?
Security?
Security? Are there a lot of security who would kill people for criminals?
I wouldn't say a lot,
Okay.
but we are trained and we know how to kill, and some of us do wish to live above our means. Our pay isn't exactly stellar.
Is this drunk guy mean? Is he a killer?
I think generally drunk is the first descriptor, and then I would put after that lazy. I
Okay.
feel like Inspector Peralt is too lazy to be a killer,
Okay. That's good.
though has been known to respond with force if someone resists arrest.
Drinking can be an expensive habit, though. Would he be willing to do it for a payday?
I mean, money's a good motivation for many a thing for many people. But, I don't know what you're going to ask of me. But I would recommend looking elsewhere for such services if that's your goal.
No, I would never ask that of you.
That's why I'm happy to see you.
No, I just want to clear my sister's name.
Well, if you're looking to clear her name of all her crimes, that will never happen.
I wouldn't go that far. The stuff she did, she can live with, but I want to clear her name of this particular crime.
The thing is, you're going to have some real proof. I just assumed your sister was either going to take off and never be heard from again, or be found probably tomorrow morning.
We have till tomorrow morning?
Well, she wouldn't be found alive.
She's not going to be found alive tomorrow morning?
If they catch her.
Oh,
Yeah, we're not gonna let that happen. She'll be alright.
no.
I mean, it would be a lot simpler if I didn't have to tell my mother that I couldn't fix this and that Ivy had to leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to tell your mother that. I still remember the red marks she gave me when we were younger.
Yeah.
But I do know the inspector to talk to should you have, let's say, significant proof.
Okay. Who's that?
Pulls out a little notebook, goes through the quick name generator. Elwood Workman. Inspector Workman is reliable, honest to a fault, and well known enough to make it difficult to dispose of it when he has, let's say, a bug in his mustache.
You.
So if we can get him solid proof, he'll follow through.
Potentially. If he's able to. There's a lot of money in this city.
Right.
If there weren't, Free Quebec would have shut it down a long time ago. People with good intent can only do so much against that.
Okay. It sounds like our best place to start, anyways.
But is there anything that you think I should follow up on? Any leads that I should look into?
What about the guy that hates your sister?
You're going to have to be more specific.
The Crushers or the Bashers?
He's talking about Max Battle and the Breakers.
The Breakers. Yes.
Yeah, this... Again, kid, not really their style. They would have just attacked Ivy in the streets.
What about the assassin cyborg person? Do you know any
I'm sorry,
cyborg assassins?
This is Free Quebec. We have a lot of assassins. A
But
good number of
cyborg
cyborgs.
ones that can change the way they look?
Cyborgs, there are some cyborgs which can alter their facial structure or body to an extent, but not heavily, depending on if they still want to look human or not. I had not considered that, as everybody thought they knew. Didn't need it. That does put us in a range. There are a number of known killers in town that might fit that, at least 3.
Who's got connections to the One Truth Network?
Oh yeah, I forgot about those guys.
I have no idea. That the One Truth Network is so political and squeaky clean. They act like they're squeaky clean.
Act is a good word for it.
What about the little void guy?
I mean, that's not a lot to go on to ask
I know.
questions about. If we had more to ask, we could, but
I can review some footage. What do you mean a void guy?
something
Well-
that they came across when investigating.
The
Yeah, he was in the
cyborg
alley.
assassin guy had a little void buddy, like a guy with no face that you couldn't see. He could have been a psychic, and that's why he looked like he was a void.
I don't. Psychics have always given me the willies.
What's a willy?
It's a wiggly feeling in your tummy.
Oh, like when you eat live food and swallow it too fast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
potentially.
Do you eat worms, Sarissa?
I don't know. Is it bad to say yes?
So, you run with interesting company these days.
You never eaten a worm?
Being on the road is
I
an
was.
interesting place to be.
Never felt the inclination myself, but I'm sure some do. I'll look into cybernetic assassins with possible connections to the network. I mean, the network's profile did have a big jump up not that long ago.
Yeah, but
Yeah, when they got that new person in.
new person.
Oh no, it wasn't a new person. It was, yes, when Julian Tremblay started their new show.
I knew-
Julian Tremblay was someone around your age who in the city was going to be a major political figure. Was much when you were all younger, but then his father got in some political scandal, and the family kind of had a bit of a falling from grace. It seemed at one point that the Tremblays would be mayors, like were on track to be mayors, but a political scandal that you weren't too into, like too aware of, caused that entire family to kind of be shaken from the headlines. But it appears that Julian Tremblay has started was a constant like One Truth Network personality, but started their own show a bit ago, and the show has become extremely popular.
Now that's interesting. I'm
And that was about-
assuming Julian's show is a lot like the others.
It's strange. Julian is. I met Julian a couple of times as a child, and Julian was shy and reserved. Clearly, his older brothers treated him poorly. But this one is a ball of. like a red-faced badger.
Huh?
Like a badger that screams till it's red in the face. I don't know how to. Very yelly.
So he has anger issues.
I don't remember seeing them as, when I was younger. And as a commenter, he was kind of, was the word milk toast?
Oh, like sort of bland and meek.
Yes.
So why do you get so mean all of a sudden?
Got him his own show.
Do I remember this Julian Tremblay? Like, did I ever meet him?
We'll say yes. Because it makes it more interesting if the answer is yes. So yes. Julian Tremblay was the kid who thought that everyone owed him something. But didn't really do anything about it. Like, was snotty and rude, but the first to run.
Right, he's like a little shit.
Yeah. Worm-like, even.
Okay.
Not necessarily, at least the kid I remember wasn't necessarily the type to be on a TV show.
Well, wanted to be important and on a TV show.
Wanted to be, but not necessarily the type to have his own show.
Unless it was bought for him.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think that guy would be capable of setting something like this up?
He was never dumb.
Where can we find this guy?
He's a bigwig at the network.
I mean, what?
We don't keep in touch. We're not friends.
No, I don't mean that. Peppermint, did you know this person?
I've met him. Don't know him super well. Was never friends with him either, but.
Well, I mean, we could go to his house and talk to him, but I don't know if he'll talk to us, but maybe.
Not everyone will sit down and talk with a childhood acquaintance.
Right.
Does he have like a lot of guards with him?
He has security, I'm sure. At his station, he does annoy some people.
I mean, could you bring him in for questioning?
No.
Oh.
Nor would I if I valued my career at all.
Right, there's no evidence, right? This is all we're just speculating.
I don't even know what you're asking about half the time.
Well, somebody at the network, right? Because do I get this right? The network was connected because they wanted Glenn dead. I can't remember his name.
Guillermo.
The bank, Guillermo. They wanted. God, that reminds me of what they do in the shadows. They wanted Guillermo dead because then they could complain a lot more about whatever it is. I don't know. People like me, like non-humans, that they want to bitch about.
Looks around the bar. Quite a popular figure in some circles.
Okay, well, I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. So he wants to complain more. This is the guy that wanted a lot of fame and stuff, right?
Had fame.
Oh, is he washed up?
All right. This is kind of just recapping information. So I'm just gonna break it down real quick because we gotta hit a break very soon.
Yep.
All right. Wang, Juniper Wang speculated that the network was kind of tired of his shenanigans. And, if anyone wanted to see him dead, maybe it was them. She was just kind of saying things. But we will cut over to the network when we come back.
Yes, we will be back in just a moment, about 5 or 10 minutes, So make sure you get up, stretch, do all of the things, and we will see you then. And of course, enjoy the music and art. Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
All right. So the group was discussing with a old friend of Peppermint's who was a security inspector some of the things about, corruption in a corrupt city. But the rest of the group was headed towards the headquarters of One Truth Network, which is located in the central part of town. Not, it's kind of like the main hub. They've got a big building in the main hub of town. Basically, their Times Square. It's actually kind of near a lake. It's a big building right next to a lake. What is that actually? The place? There's a map that I'm looking at that I can't show all of you. Yeah, that's what we'll replace. It is right on the lake. It is a large building with a massive broadcasting tower on top. It has giant. In my brain, they're Blade Runner type screens on the sides of the building.
Oh gosh,
Showing the
yes.
network, showing the stuff running on the network. There's a news ticker around the base of it in English and French.
Of course.
And there is a heavy security presence in the area.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem.
Is it?
There's other major buildings in the area. You see a bank. The First Quebec National Reserve Trust. You also see a very large building owned by who would own that? Let's see, you're not too far. You're about a block and a half away from the Coalition Embassy, which
Ooh,
just openly
Oh,
has
great.
Coalition troops like on the walls.
great.
So you want to avoid that.
Is there any other building up against the
There is no adjoining building. They own the entire building they're in. It's about
Is it the tallest?
It is. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the tallest, and then the tower on top makes it. The broadcasting equipment on top makes it even bigger.
Also, have we slept between last episode and this episode?
No.
Okay. So
You've recovered probably about 10 PPE
okay.
in just downtime.
Okay, it's probably too tall for us to tell if there's security on the roof. But
A place like this in a town like this, you're guessing they have
cameras and
at least cameras, potentially SAMS, which are flight suits, or at least security with jetpacks.
is there like a manhole cover nearby, and
That's what I was
perhaps
thinking.
perhaps Jeddah could find us. I know going that way won't be Jeddah's favorite thing to do.
I did find that last time, and it was quite smelly.
Yes, I know.
You'll have to explain septic systems to me someday. They make no sense.
We will. We will.
Okay.
That's on our to-do list.
This area actually does have a sewage system that leads out into dumps out into the lake, which is relatively new.
Oh, poor lake.
Yeah. And there is like a treatment plant on the edge of the lake, but who knows how functional that is.
Yeah.
There's also power running throughout the city from a power generating a nuclear plant. Yeah. Number 4 son. If you head down the other way, further away from the embassy to the coalition, you will eventually come across a place which is called the Yield Tobacco Shop, and then there's a Special Investigators and Shade of Atlantis, which is a magical shop. It's not too far off of this main jaunt, but it is not, there. Like, if you were up in that tower, you could probably stare down angrily at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is sewage systems here. There's an old... the old subway has mostly been destroyed and... or refurbished into sewers. There's not much of in the way of... There is actually a little bit of public transportation in this city. There is a free shuttle where you can just basically... It goes around. It doesn't ask for a fare even. It just runs. That is not piloted by any person. It is like an automated system. And so there's cabling for that underground. Yeah, it's like a trolley system. Or trams, I should say. So if you want to get underneath the street, you can. You want to pop...
Yeah.
All right. So if you get into like the middle of the street, some of the guards, the security forces will start to move over.
No, we want to do it like in an alley or a few streets back somewhere.
Yeah, there's a just like a drain on the side of on the curb, like a storm drain on the side of the curb. I can slip in there that way.
So you're gonna try to find a place that's you can find one that's not very big that you can all kind of squeeze through, but if you're looking for something that you want to bring like anything bigger than a person through, it's gonna be difficult. But you're just 3 people, so it's not a problem for you right now. So yes, you could find your way
back home.
Yeah,
or
you
you
can.
left your bubble.
You eventually find a street with no security presence actively on like the corners. And you move along it through the sewers. Now, these sewers, you start to see that occasionally, as you get closer to the center of where you're headed with the big places, you see one that is just completely like barred off with iron bars and cameras further down and what looks to be some kind of automated turret. And that way probably leads to the Coalition Embassy.
Yeah.
But if you keep going down, you see that there does start to be like the occasional camera in the sewers, some of which are not working. But there's at least one pointing down the tunnel that you're going to have to walk past.
How high is it?
It's about 10 feet off the ground. This is a big sewer. It's been refurbished from like a subway.
Okay, so there's not like patches of earth or anything like that.
Oh, there's patches of earth. I mean, there's also some rubble about too.
Thought, is there enough? Because I can do... How big of it? I can make a little patch of earth that fits me and a few people. Do the little earth patch that goes up. Is there enough patch of earth that I could pull some out and make it?
Yeah, you can build your floating platform.
Okay. Do you all think that it would be helpful to not walk here? It would be much quieter, less echo.
And avoid the cameras?
Yeah.
I can always go in. Well, it depends on if there's ground behind the camera. I can always go in and then just cover it, and then you guys go past, and then I go to the next one and continue. But if there's no ground, then it will take a lot of my abilities. I'm trying to save some of it for actually going through the walls upstairs. Going through walls is something that I can do, but it tires me so. Also.
You give me a boost up there. I can just turn the camera off, or
Oh, that I can do, yes.
All right. So you give Greeks a boost up. Greeks, you can get to the back of one of the cameras pointing the other like pointing down a tunnel that you would have to walk like underneath the camera. So you can touch the camera now.
Yeah, is it working or?
This one is working and connected to a network. It is a high security network though.
You got this, Greeks.
This is the kind of thing that to hack, if you don't do it right, you're going to trigger alarms. Because this is like the city's the part of the city that they care most about.
Right.
So even there's even some security in the sewers here. Not like active patrols, but you know, the camera system, and this is connected into a larger, somewhat CCTV kind of thing. So they keep good hackers or good, well-paid professionals on staff to make sure people like you have a hard time. So what would you like to do?
Just gonna make let's just make the camera malfunction.
That's easy enough. You can glitch the camera, no problem.
Yeah.
This will be, let's see. If this were masks, I'm going to say I mark a clock, but whatever. It's a very big clock. But you only got a single mark on it. You guys continue to move through the sewers, and you see that there is occasionally doors up, like doors that lead upwards. They are well locked. There is no electronic keypad on this one in front of you. The one that looks like it goes closest to and might connect to a sub basement of the ONT building or OTN building.
Are there any like telecommunication cables down here?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yeah. There's at least a phone line in and out of the building to other places. Actually, as you walked down, you could see that there was a couple of phone lines that you now know connect this building and then run down towards the Coalition Embassy. There is power connected to this building. There is... I'm going to say this is not a place that has too many off-site servers. So they don't really have a, Cat 9 style, or Cat 6, whatever it is now. Info cable, like they don't. There would be cable going out though. Yes, there would be legit cable, like fiber optic and coaxial, coming out of this tower. So yes, the answer is yes. I'm sorry, I was very confusing there. The answer is yes. Because I'm like, this is a city, but it's not really transmitting outside of the city except by like wide broadcast. Not even satellite.
So you said the door is not secure?
The door is secure. There's a security door.
And it's locked?
Yes.
Electronically?
No. It looks like a big old honking door with a big old like lock on it. Like, there is a person with a set of keys that can open this, but that person is probably a supervisor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jetta, is there any way for you to tell if there's someone on the other side, or without...
peek my head through. I can always peek my head through.
The door is made of MDC metal.
Okay.
So that would be extremely hard to put your head through.
Okay, can I just lockpick it?
You may attempt to. Take a -10 on your lockpick. Or a 10 against you, I should say.
10 against me. Oh, God.
Yes.
All right, so -10 would be 35, so I got a 29 under 35.
Okay. You do it. This was an old lock that hasn't been opened. You had to clear out some storm runoff. of the lock before you could, hit the tumblers right.
Mhm.
It takes a little longer than you expect. It's a difficult lock, but you pop it. The door doesn't look like it's been opened in years, and it's, solid.
Can we open it? Like,
All
does
right,
it take?
you pull to open it.
Yeah.
It is very loud, a loud creaking sound when you open it. This thing is not exactly rusted in place, but like in order to move it, you gotta pull.
Oh, trying to think.
I've got some oil. Some
Yeah, I was gonna say, like-
Yeah, but it's just even to get it open a bit was loud.
Yeah.
Oh,
You open to a hallway with red lights that run down to a door with a camera pointing out from like the top of the door. There's a keypad and a swipe card thing at that door, and a small like 4-inch window in the door, and a spray painted on the door is OTN building.
This looks like one of those shows that Starissa watches. Do any of you have powder? Do you have any of you have powder of some sort? It might blow the powder and show lines of some sort. I don't know what the lines are, but everybody tries to avoid them in the show she watches.
She's been watching a lot of Alias and
Yes.
I
Can
don't
we
understand
see
it at all.
sort of
But
like-
if there
Yeah.
is a red room with a lot of with a door at the end of it, you probably blow powder and then do a lot of cool maneuvers and stuff to not hit the line.
Can we tell if there's any other surveillance or anything like that?
you would be able to tell if there were probably an infrared laser system in this hallway. There is not. There is a very secure electronically locked door, which when opened will probably buzz some security outpost upstairs. And a card reader on that door.
Oh, no.
But yes, it is. The red light is more of an emergency light than it is a spooky horror, like spooky action story light.
I have dirt. We can. Do you think dirt would work?
There is also a camera facing down this hallway, so if you attempt to approach, you may be seen on camera.
Yes.
The camera here looks a little more high-tech than the ones in the subway, but only by a little bit.
I do have a thought.
Mhm.
Bert looks like dirt sometimes. I don't know how he does it, but sometimes he can look like dirt. I can just have him go and sit on the camera.
yeah. Sure. I like that idea.
Yeah.
So Bert comes out, puts his little nose up to you, pokes you twice with it.
Just kind of pull his little hat off. Hey, sorry, buddy, but this is really bright, and I don't want you to be seen. But can you go sit on the camera for me? Can you do that?
Puts his nose down towards your like hips and like goes. And then jumps into the treat bag you keep, grabs like 3 of them and jumps out.
You little. Okay.
It's hilarious to watch this little dirt mole grind down what look to be like Scooby snacks.
Oh.
And then it goes skittering up the wall. The wall here is made of like tile. Everything here is like a low-grade MDC tile up until that door, which is a high-grade MDC metal. Skitters along the tile as though it were solid ground, and just goes up onto the ceiling part of this, and then goes down onto the camera and just like knocks it to the side, looks up at you, and then just like knocks it even further to the side. So it's basically pointing at a wall.
He's funny, isn't he? I like Bert. That's why I keep him sometimes, because sometimes he's funny. Okay, come on, guys, let's go. Just like,
All right, you make it up to the security door.
I'll touch it.
I
Find out
just
the-
go like
the
this when I
code.
get under though. So that he can jump down on my hands.
All right. So you get to the security door. There is a scanner here and a swipe card. You touch it, and what are you attempting to do to it?
Finding the access code.
All right. For some reason, when you do, this place feels like a military compound. Inside, the computer system here is military grade. So basically, the 3D image of it drops you. Did you play the Shadowrun video games? Like, was it the Dragon? I have them. They're very good.
Yeah, I played the first one.
You know what happens when you go into the hacking thing? It's basically a different, like, everything is a little. Yeah, it's. Everything is made of blue lines on a black background and looks a bit silvery. Everything here is very square, and you do see what look to be little turrets floating around, which you know to be intrusion detection systems. And yeah, you're going to attempt to hack it. So give me a roll on that at. Normally you have an 88 because of your telemechanics, but I'm going to say a 78 because of this thing's military grade hardware systems.
Okay.
All right, 54.
54 is good enough. You dodge those detection intrusion systems without having to like disrupt them, which also triggers alarms or other things. And you find that the only people with this are basically the building managers. They're the only ones with access to this door. You call up one of their profiles. You also touch your personal like computer systems, the ones you have on you, and you can basically clone one of them, clone one of those cards. So you've got the building manager's ID.
Work on it, Andy.
So you
Slowly open the door.
You slowly open that door. Somewhere, a thing buzzes. You are into the basements. You see a large number of machines here. This is the HVAC system. This is, you do see a couple of enormous generators that are not, well, they're currently operable, but they're not currently pumping out power. I'm like suddenly reminded of going into a basement in Fallout 4. Where there's those giant like generators, and sometimes you can get a nuclear core out of them. There's 2 of those here, so the building has its independent power system. There's also an immense HVAC to keep all like 20 floors of this place at appropriate temperatures. All of it seems to be in good repair. As you come in, you see that basically no one has opened the door that you've come through, but no one has blocked it either. Like, no one has put stuff in the way. This is a place that has, you know, maintenance here does a job. The floors are clean. There's not, you don't see a ton of bugs. You see the occasional bug, because bugs are anywhere where there is, you know, earth. And you see a catwalk that leads up and out to what looks to be a more significant area of the building. There's a little like 4-inch window in this door, which also needs a security clearance. With a, you can see the next room past this looks to be some kind of maintenance furniture storage. You go through.
Do you use furniture in radio stations?
Well, it's a TV place, so or meetings and
yes.
people have meetings and all that type of stuff. So yes, Jetta, they would need furniture.
Take
Interesting.
naps.
A lot of the furniture in there, closer towards the back, looks very old. Some of it looks to be pre-war. But you do start seeing newer pieces as you come to the front of it. It is night, so it's unlikely too many people would be around, but you do eventually see that there is a room with a light on at the base of an elevator. In that room is about 20 lockers, and they look like school lockers, but they don't have locks on them. They are numbered in magic marker.
I wonder if anything will be in those. Shall we check?
Can we get in there?
Get some disguises.
You don't see any people around.
Any cameras, anything like that?
There is a camera in the hallway outside of this room.
Jenna puts her hood up, which is like has like some holes in it and stuff. She goes, "No one will know it is me."
I reach into my little pack and it's like, okay. And I have a piece of fudge. And I'm like, Bert, would you do a repeat of what you did?
Oh, yes. Will you do it again?
Bert leaps out of Jetta's hand, just directly into the fudge.
I take that as a yes. And I just go like this. I'm like, yes.
And Bert goes running down the hallway and covers up the one camera that's down there. There's a set of stairs and an elevator up next to this door, but there is that room with all the lockers.
She's gonna lean over to Tang. Jetta's gonna lean over to Tang.
Creaks.
That's the first
Creaks.
time. Oh, creaks. Sorry. That's the first time he's actually ever been useful to me.
Can I
Yeah,
take a
good-
quick peek
good friend
in
have.
the like what the lockers have?
All right, as you get closer to the lockers, you quickly realize that some of those, at least half of those lockers, are occupied by robots.
Oh,
The maintenance staff here is robotic.
Ah,
Of course.
There is a small number of humanoid maintenance workers. None of them are here. It would seem. You see a shift schedule on the wall,
mm-hmm.
and they apparently don't work past 6 p.m. At night, it's just all robots.
What time is it now? It's like really late.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's around 7. Because y'all have done a lot today.
mm-hmm.
That's
Yes,
not too bad.
nice. Wait, did you give him ghost fudge or just fudge?
Just fudge.
Okay.
Freya does not carry ghost fudge with her.
Having a
Um,
moment.
She doesn't want
That's
to get
not her
arrested
thing.
for
Wrong.
illegal substances.
That's
My
not her
buddy.
thing.
I mean, I would have been fine with it. I just wanted to see how that played out.
No, she would not have done that to Bert. So Greeks, what's the play here?
Shall we take the stairs or elevator?
Is there a way to turn off the robots to make sure that they don't turn back on in case we need to use this as a getaway? They will not block our path. Or close the door. Is there a door that we can close and bar?
You've been closing door.
No.
There is
Yeah.
a door to this room, but it is not an MDC door.
Hmm.
I think we need
There
to
are the robots on the schedule, right?
There is currently 3 robots at work in the building, meaning there's 7 robots stocked. It appears that there is a little terminal there. You'll have to do some minor hacking, but it's not hooked up to the secure terminal. This is just the maintenance interface. That there's always 3 active and 2 replacements, or one replacement. So there's 3 shifts, and which the replacement and 1 rests for the day. So basically, every we'll say 2 to 4 hours, one will come back and a new one will launch.
Is there any way to find the building layout using these robots?
Absolutely, that will require a hacking roll.
Yeah, because Greeks, if we could find a,
The
then we can.
maintenance robots are a weak point in this security.
56.
All right, I believe that's under your hacking. So you get a complete layout. There are several areas where the robots are not allowed to clean. And those tend to be the top floor offices and the several offices on the, I said it was like 20 floors tall. So the 20th, they're not allowed on the 20th at all. And the 19th and 18th, they're allowed in the hallways, but not in the individual offices. And on the 16th, actually, and one office on the 13th. Yeah, there's one office on the 13th they're not allowed into, and they're not allowed into the server area, which is on the 4th floor.
That's where we need to get.
Yeah.
The 4th floor
The
also has
closest-
the security outpost. Or the main security outpost, security offices, yeah.
So basically, they're not allowed on the 4th, the 13th, and the 16th through 20th floor. Basically.
Pretty much. Close enough.
Are there people in the security office?
You'll have to hack in. Oh, you did hack into a bit of the building security. You're going to have to hack into the cameras now if you want to go in. That will again be at a -10 for the military grade network if you want to risk it.
I don't know if yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do we need to get in the server, or do we just need to get? Yeah, I'll let you. Sorry, get into the cameras, Greeks. Sorry.
17.
17. You quickly grab that there is personal security as well as robotic security here. The personnel security, the humanoid security, is all humans. All seem to be ex-military, and no one looks like the doughiest of doughy guards.
There are cameras in the stairwell.
There are cameras in the stairwell, yes.
Okay.
Ironically, there are no cameras in the elevator. I don't know if that's ironic. Just there are cameras in the stairwell. There's none in the elevator.
Yeah, but they'll be able to tell when it moves.
What are the
Yeah,
walls
We
like?
could climb up the elevator shaft.
Mhm.
Potentially possible, yes. The walls here are a gleaming white and black tile. Well maintained. This area doesn't have marble floors, but has like a linoleum. Well, better than linoleum.
I want to ask Greeks, where, you know what we're after? What part of the building do you need? Do you need to be in the server room? Can you be in someone's office? What do you need? Tell us what you need, and we will figure out how to make it happen. We've got ideas. I've got a couple of ideas.
Yeah, server room is one, but that'll be the most secure. Then we could also go to someone's office, like one of the top people's office.
Can he
And
tell
get-
like whose office is maybe this?
You can definitely get office assignments in a separate chart. So yes. You can't.
And
There don't have cameras on into them. Like not every many offices do not have cameras. There's a general press pool reporting room which has cameras all over it. Anywhere where people who aren't talent, let's say, work, there are tons of cameras.
Because we could go
Okay,
up the.
with this Bartholomew's, would he have an office here?
He would have an office here. It would be on the top floor. The first 3 floors are pretty much studio space. The 4th would be servers and whatnot, and then going up, there's an accountant's, there's reporters, there's all kinds of things. Up at the absolute top, the man who owns the building has an office there.
I like the elevator shaft because there's no cameras. Here's the thing. We get up there. Rohan comes out to play, and I fly us up there. Well, Rohan flies us up there.
The elevator is about 10 feet wide.
Oh, darn. Oh, okay. Yes.
Rohan's wingspan is too big to fly in the elevator.
But Rohan could climb it.
Yeah, but that's not going to be quiet.
No, it's not.
If we are able to, and there are no stairs that we could climb, normally there are stairs in buildings like this, but if there aren't and we have to use the elevator, then there may be an emergency hatch in the top. If we pop off the emergency hatch and you two get on it, I could push you up with gust of wind. It might not get you extremely far, but it will go at least roughly 100 feet.
So about 5 floors, if not a little more. Probably like.
Yeah, because it
8.
says 100 feet here.
Yeah, and I'm thinking a floor is 10 feet at least, probably a
Yeah.
little more. So you'll probably get like 8 or 9 floors after that.
Yes.
We can try this first. Get up to the 3rd floor. I can go under to the
Get up to
room
5.
under the 3rd floor or the 5th floor. So I'm either above or below the server room, and
Try to tap into it from there.
yeah.
I'm also very good at climbing, so if needed, I could go up with a rope and.
All right, so let me just cut this all short because I think we're all dancing around an answer that I thought of, but y'all haven't yet. Get into the elevator, open the hatch, get on top of the elevator, and then hit the button is a good plan.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it without turning the elevator on because I figured they'd hear it and then the door would open and then be like, there's nobody in there.
Yeah. Which I don't know if you've ever worked in a building with elevators, but occasionally they just move.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
It's
I
been a
work
while.
security. Occasionally elevators just go at it for the exercise to make sure
all the
everything's still
time.
working.
Oh, okay.
Sure,
So then
let's
we'll do that.
idea.
That's not
All right. This is actually, that might be something Freya knew.
Yeah.
All right. So you wait for it to come. Do you hit the button for it to come down?
We have Bert hit the button to cover it to come down.
Okay.
Bird.
Bert doesn't generate enough heat.
Wait,
Though actually there has to be a way for the robots to. So the Bluetooth signal that the robots use to open the elevator, Greeks could basically copy. It comes down, opens in front of you.
Get in. Pop.
You get in real quick.
Uh-huh.
All of you roll me a stealth. You will have a
That's prowl, right?
prowl with a 10-point advantage. So
this one?
It's a 49 under. Well, my regular is 60, so
70, yes.
Oh, just made it.
Even with the 10.
Yeah, 64 out of 64.
Nice.
I rolled a 13 out of.
That's good enough. A 13 is going to pass. Base is 35, so don't worry
I
about
have
it.
50 out of 50. 13 out of 50.
You
I
all
just
get
go,
through pretty quick.
You don't know.
It doesn't.
I
You,
know.
the elevator does not go into some security lockdown. You pop the top of the elevator. You get on top. How are you? Let's just say Greeks makes the elevator hit a button because that's Greeks' power set. What floor do you want to go to?
Third.
All right, you go up to 3, which is the smaller of the 3 studios. This is one of the areas with basically a desk and a camera and then a board that like 3 people could fit in the studio comfortably before it gets crowded. A lot of the camera equipment has been automated, so they don't really have, too much room for camera people. And a lot of the cameras hang from the ceiling on gimbals, which is a weird.
Words.
So you're there. There's a lot of equipment around. There's no one here at the moment. This is the Case and Howell primarily films on this floor.
All right,
Yeah.
Greeks.
Gonna find the room that's directly underneath the
Alright.
server.
It takes a little bit, but you get directly underneath the server room. It is a restroom.
Perfect.
There is no one. You don't see anyone on the floor at this time of night. There are cameras in many of the hallways, but the lights are all on emergency lights only. Unless Greeks wants to turn them on. With your building manager pass, you have access to the light switches.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So can we get to the bathroom safely, or?
Give me another. I'll keep rolling with your same prowls. Yeah, you get to the bathroom safely. There is no camera in the bathroom that you're aware of.
I got a 2.
Yeah, so that'll cover. You're good. You guys just move quickly enough and discreetly enough that you shouldn't be causing any alarms. You do see fire doors, which are alarmed and triggered and whatnot. They're not triggered; they're alarmed. You make your way into the restroom area. There are fans pointing, sucking air out of this room. There's vents going through the building.
Hers in this bathroom.
The ceiling in here, like kind of tile that you can.
There is a
Push
drop
up.
ceiling in here, yes, but above it is a thick MD, pretty much concrete floor between every floor of the building. It's not just. I'm trying to think of how they do skyscrapers. I don't know, but I think there is a metal slab on each each floor for flooring, and above that goes other flooring, and then a third layer that you actually walk on.
Which means I would not be able to go through it because I can't go through metal. Or plastic, for that matter.
But you could potentially take your time and burn through it, or do something else.
Are there wires and
There's a lot of wiring heading up.
down?
Yeah, there's a lot of wiring heading up. You basically can find the main access for the servers in this building.
So, question.
Mhm.
I have excavation. Would that... I'm not exactly sure what all that entails. Would I be able to find a weak point? Like where there's more hole for wires, or...
I don't think you need to. And this is not the kind of excavation you'd...
Yeah.
I don't see how... I think Jetty here sees the airflow, and the air flowing between different floors, you can tell that there's a fire suppression system. There's a lot of wiring in the way, but Greeks can reach up and touch pretty much what you need to.
Okay.
So give me another roll at a negative 20%, as you are now in to their military grade servers.
Oh boy.
Got this, buddy. You
Oh,
got...
that's good. 34.
Excellent. So
Yes.
you, inside the reboot style world of these servers, you perform extraordinarily well in the game of cat and mouse, which is dodging these regular security patrols and intercepts. What do you want access to that might be on this system?
What do you say? So money transfers to third parties.
Okay, that is an enormous list of accounting. Do you want to grab it all? Or are you looking for anything specific? Because this place pays a lot of people for a lot of things.
Yeah, within the last 2 months, I say.
All right, that is about a gig of information in text file form.
Awesome.
It's, you know, we'll say it's half a gig because the company is big, but it's not connected to other cities. There's a lot of information there of money going in and out. You know, unless you are also a forensic accountant, nothing's going to jump at you in 0 seconds. You might be able to get something if you spend some time looking through it, but that'll take time. But you have it. Is there any other information you want?
Searching for a name, Ivy, and
Guillermo,
yeah,
the
Guillermo.
guy.
All right, Guillermo gets you a lot of results. A number of bookings for Guillermo, payments to Guillermo's people, Guillermo's like body guy, people complaining about Guillermo's behavior on set, saying he was drunk, people saying that he hit on one of the guards in the lobby, who and then demanded that they be fired because Guillermo was terrible. And a lot of them, you get some of the producers talking about how Guillermo's so popular. Like, a lot of people started, you can quickly see a pattern of recently Guillermo's name has been popping up more and more in a negative context. You don't see, and you see emails with the producers from The Screed with Julian Tremblay. But none of them seem to indicate them wanting to, off him. A lot of like, oh my god, this freaking guy. He said he'd be here. Where the F is he? What a useless POS. And then the occasional reminder that all emails are viewable by the internal HR system. Or all employee grade emails are viewable by the internal HR system. Indicating, and there you find reference to a separate grade of emails among only the talent that are not stored in this building. No, they're stored in this building, but they are stored up in the, 18th floor. There's a lot of people complaining. So yeah, that's what you got about Guillermo. Anyone else you wanted to look into?
Any mention of Tirgix?
Not a single. No, it's a strange enough name that it would not stand out, or it would stand out. And in a search comes back with 0 hits on that string of letters in that order. I mean, as much as, a Google search would, which I believe there's not many words that have Tirgix in it.
Does Ivy return anything?
Ivy returns a lot. Apparently, a lot of people like to refer to how they're descended from Ivies, meaning people who went to Ivy League schools back when that was a thing. There is a couple of things about a hoodlum named Ivy. One of the producers on you hit upon the graphics department was working on a graphic for a segment called trying trying to think of a catchy name for it, and this is what they actually hire real producers to do. Human Dangers. That every week highlights a different person who is someone who is human, but is clearly a threat to society, and should be highlighted as a bad example of, humanity.
Don't be this person. They're mean.
Or they're not mean in the way we like them to be mean.
That's fair.
You do find that actually has a picture of Ivy, Peppermint's sister, attached to it.
Anything else?
Oh, that was being worked on for the Screed with Julian Tremblay. But nothing else specifically to Ivy, Peppermint's sister. Because, does Peppermint have a last name? No? Okay.
Yeah, I never thought of one, so...
No, it's not Patty.
Peppermint.
Instantly nixed.
I never thought of one. I'm.
That's okay. Yeah. So you find nothing else directly linking to that, except a couple of police reports that have appeared about minor crime in the city, like police blotter type stuff.
And then, Greeks, can you see if there's any sort of mention of like maybe a recent religion, something to do with midnight or darkness?
Okay. Church of Open Midnight.
Yeah.
All right, you find nothing on that directly. Churches and religions, you find several negative mentions. This place tends to be either a loose Catholic, well, not loose Catholic, a loose Christian, or a... You know how the French brand of atheism kind of thing? That tends to be, the people who work there tend to be on one of those two levels. You do find a number of stories about cults of darkness, about how they might seduce your children. Those tend to be older.
D&D is one of those.
One about is the danger of unregulated gaming and conversion to the fantasy and DB sympathizer mindset.
How dare they?
Anything about Charleston?
Ads for Charleston Chew, a brand that has been returned. A man named Charles Townwick, a man named Wick Charleston. Nothing about a city of Charleston.
Anything about boxes? Not cardboard. Not
Like, how do you tell a search engine that though? Any number of purchase orders.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be too general. Yeah. So it looks like when we go through the accounting thing, we'll probably find something there. But
Possibly, but there's a lot of payments coming out of here. The only other thing you really see is that all of the stories about cults of darkness are old. None is newer than this year. It seems they have found other boogeymen.
okay.
Oh, you do see, actually, you know what? I'll give you this. There is an email that says, marketing has found that Cults of Darkness is bringing in lower viewership, and we should find other topics. And then an email from one person in marketing who's like, that's not true at all, and then that person's termination file.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, so copying all that, the relative info, and then the counting stuff.
Okay. You do it takes a lot of time to do this. This is not a quick process to pull down all that information, even though Greeks makes it incredibly faster than it would be if you had to search it all by hand.
I've been keeping watch.
Yeah.
Coming up onto this floor at some point is an actual security patrol. The security patrol cards in at one end of the floor with an audible doot doot and starts walking through the floor.
Freya, there's somebody coming.
Shh.
Okay.
You don't have any lights on in the bathroom, right?
Nobody knows.
Have you turned on any? Have you chosen to
I
turn on
didn't.
any?
I have not.
Okay. So
I've
no,
just been like,
there is emergency lighting, the kind of
Mhm.
yeah. So the person just keeps walking till they hit the other end of the floor. You hear a doot doot, and they head upstairs or downstairs actually.
hey, Freya, they're gone.
Okay. Good. Good.
Oh,
Good.
you were right. They just kept walking.
Why would they check the bathroom unless they needed to use it? Which
Yep.
seems unlikely. All right. You make your. Do you start making your way out? Are you going up, or are you doing anything else?
Gonna look at Greeks. What would you like to do?
Would there be any hard files that we need? Or could you have gotten everything from the wires? Did the wires talk to you?
I
Yeah, we got-
imagine anything files is going to be in one of those offices. It's going to be very difficult to get to because the robots can't get to them.
Yeah, all the way
They're
up
not robots.
top floor.
Did you want to? Did you want to go or?
I mean, I think we have enough. What do you think? I'll do whatever.
I think because you know what? You've got a layout of the place, you've got schedules, we got some basic stuff to go on. So if we needed to come back and to try to go to the top floor, I think that might be a full crew sort of deal. So I think with that information,
Oh, with the accounting information, you can see there's an active security force on the top 4 floors at all times.
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So
Also that.
yeah.
Sounds
And there's
a
only 3
job
of
for
us, so-
Rohan.
Yeah. There's a yeah.
Oh, you do see those payments are for several juicer upgrades.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's a way to read between the lines, and when we go through all this Grimoire stuff and payments and everything, I think we might find something. And we'll, you know what? Who knows what the other half found? And we'll come back together again, and maybe some puzzle pieces can fit together.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do another quick break,
Mhm.
and we'll come back and do that.
King.
All right, we'll be back in another 10-15 minutes. Make sure you
Try
get
to
up.
keep it short, yeah.
And make sure you get up, drink water, do all those things, and of course enjoy the art of music.
Oh,
Hello, everyone. We are back.
Let me reload my player. Hello, everybody. The group split in two. Part of them went to talk to someone in the security forces, got some information, and others went to go break into the One Truth network and
I
gathered
think
a
it
whole
auto
bunch of.
muted you.
It probably auto muted me if I didn't forget to join it. I forgot to join it
Ah,
because I'm on it. No, ask to join. There we go. There we go.
I thought you were among the list
And
of people.
Immediately muted me. Your mic is off due to the size of the call. Screw you.
We're off to a great start, guys.
Also, Nerdy, I think you might be muted. No, wait. The true secret keeper. So,
oh, that's me.
yeah. You're muted as well.
I am.
There we go. Okay. The last two people to join the call apparently got auto-muted.
Yep.
Anyway, the group did some infiltration, found some info, and are now going to come back and compare notes. The group tells each other the stuff.
Yes.
So, yeah. What are any of you drawing any conclusions from it?
So, I think what we need to do is just tell your sister to leave.
No. Okay, kid. Here. Well, she have a nap. I want to look through. You said this Julian Tremble person.
Tremblay, yes.
Tremblay. Let's start with his emails and his staff, and let's
emails. You can tell that there are emails about him here. There are some from him to staff, but his personal emails tended not to be very exciting, and you get the idea that might be a second.
Do we get a feel
View,
for like if we wanted to do the whole get to meet him because we're possibly guests for the show or something like that? Do we get an idea of what he would be looking for in case we want to go that way?
With the amount of hacking Greeks did, you could have, if you had planned it, set yourself up as a guest to be interviewed. You were in the servers deep enough to do that.
Yeah, well, wouldn't want to do that without knowing the profile that we would have to build.
We'll just say for the ease of game that you have a list of upcoming guests, and it would be easy enough to replace some of them.
Okay. Do we know anything about like the accounting part? Do we get any connections there?
So, who has business? Any accounting? Anybody?
I might
Obviously
have
me.
business.
You might have business.
I have
Give him the business.
I have mathematics basic. That's
Basic
about it.
won't do it in this case.
I have
do not
intelligence.
I have
actually have
advanced.
Also have basic.
Intelligence
Advanced
does not
mathematics.
cover this.
Ooh, I have whittling and sculpture.
Advanced
I
mathematics
can
does not
dance.
cover this.
Dance.
Is an advanced form of mathematics, but you're not like trying to do proofs. You're trying to glean information from the outputs. You see a lot of payments going out to a lot of places. You see payments of various sizes. It does appear that they have paid a number of people off. They do have a security firm that they have used repeatedly for some high income missions. And
Yeah, set up a like I'll set up like a filter for like higher payments.
yeah, the you do notice that there are a couple of payments. Freya, roll me an intelligence actually, because there's a way you might know something, or any black market skill you've got.
Yeah, concealment detect. Yeah, find contraband, intelligence.
Find contraband will work here, yeah.
I got a 5.
Okay, so you know quite specifically because you grabbed accounting information going back not that long. Okay. Let's say you grabbed it back long enough to know that at least by getting a 5, I will give you this. Freya can easily spot the payments that were the average cost of having someone taken out. And there's about 10 of those in the last 3 years.
Oh shit.
Yes, because she would now be like, okay, that's a typical going rate.
And you're familiar with the naming convention of shell companies that do this. One of which is just legitimate enterprises.
Yeah, that's.
But you would know legitimate enterprises is it was one of the shell companies for a certain group.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that group. Never really thought that name would take, but it took. Yeah, that's a shell company. Yeah, so she spots that because, for reasons I know this. I think everybody by now knows Freya's background.
You don't need to know why I know this.
Yeah. So yeah, she points that out. And yeah.
There is no payment that would line up with your immediate timeline. Meaning if there was a payment, it did not come from the business. That doesn't mean someone inside the business didn't make that payment, but it means the company itself did not run it through accounting.
Did someone, because here's the thing, business people love to try to get business expenses.
And they love to use the same people again and again.
Yeah. So is there some sort of like maybe a pattern of, because they would try to like maybe it's dinners or gifts to where it like if you added it up.
Okay. So taking that angle, you do see that there are a number of cost reimbursements on the Screed with Julian Tremblay account that are linked to the nightclub whose name I have forgot, The Shine. There are a number of reimbursements from The Shine, or for dinners and meals at The Shine, going back to about a month ago. And all of those roughly coordinate with an appearance on the Screed by Guillermo.
If we added this up, would it be a significant amount? Or
the amount has been getting higher, like several thousand. At one point, the last one submitted about a month ago was about 3,000 credits. Actually, you know what? It's probably about 5,000 credits.
Someone bought something from the top shelf.
Someone bought a lot of
You
people
want a-
something from.
You want a
Yeah.
bottle service?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there was all the alcohol in the bottom of the club.
Well, that's what the club does. What we're doing, Starissa, is that basically Julian is saying that he went to the Shine, bought a bunch of food, bought a bunch of people, had business dinners and all that type of stuff. Then, of course, that's where the booze comes in, Starissa. He would be buying it. People there would go and buy it and such. And then claiming that as a business expense in order to get reimbursed, because that's how business people do. If they can not spend their own money to do something, they try to do that.
They'll spend someone else's money very quickly.
Yes.
Excuse me.
So
The action-packed forensic accounting episode of Rifts.
hey, yeah. First off, this kind of reminds me of Leverage. And second off, in real life, Michelle actually worked for a production company where somebody tried to do false receipts because of petty cash.
Oh, so much money can go missing that way. Yeah.
Yes. So Michelle found that out.
Actually, you do also identify 5 different people who are not extorting money. What is it called? Embezzling. Yeah.
Okay.
And are not even bothering to cover it up.
Okay. Well, that's just sloppy.
Yeah, 2 of them are actually trying to cover it up, but are incompetent.
Yeah.
And that one's one of them is the senior producer of The Screed.
Oh,
Let's get
really?
a name for them. Why not? Jean-Paul O'Gallagher.
So Jean-Paul?
Oh,
Jean-Paul O'Gallagher.
And that's the producer for the...
The Screed with Julian Tremblay.
Okay. Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Does this computer tell you who did it?
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Do you want me to open it?
No, we're good right now. We're just
Okay. I put my hammer back down.
yeah.
Yeah, this is not kids'
Yeah.
forte or something.
Oh.
Kid has the patience to be.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing I can do to help with this
Yeah.
computer.
He's probably taking a nap.
I was gonna say the same might be
Maybe.
true for Jetta, Estarissa,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Peppermint. What would the 4 of you be doing while the
Well,
nerds?
Freya is just like, oh, I'm seeing it. All
I
of
don't know, I mean,
the
is
the
there-
woman who's doing the math thing. Freya's
Freya's
just,
trying-
We're back.
yeah.
We're back
I know.
at Peppermint's mom's place, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Freya's crime senses have kicked in. So
yes.
I know what if you guys think that this is a good idea, maybe we should just go tell Super Cop that your sister didn't do it and that we have a lot of interesting leads. If he's somebody who actually cares about justice, I don't know if he cares more about murder than he does about justice. I don't know where those 2 things lie in his balance, but if he cares about justice, maybe he'll listen to us.
Given Ivy's record, we're gonna need solid proof to convince him.
But you don't have a bad record, right? I mean, Peppermint, you're great. You've never done anything wrong.
that's not to say Peppermint doesn't have a record.
Yeah.
Also, I
Kid
wouldn't
doesn't
say
understand
Peppermint's
that.
never done anything
Kid does
wrong.
not understand that, right? You were probably healing people here all the time and
Illegally.
being like a doctor, right?
Illegally.
Yeah, just
So then you can probably, if you vouch for your sister, I'm sure he'll listen to you.
Oh, Peppermint's got to take the Freya role of teaching Kid about the real world. So
in the
Also,
real,
Freya,
in the
I'm
real
pretty sure
world,
she's not supposed to be here to begin with, so I don't think she wants to be presenting herself to the authorities.
Well, this authority is a much more understanding. This authority does not hate people.
True.
This authority is the fairest you can find. It's basically the guy who actually keeps the justice as opposed to keeping the law.
I mean, I could try to talk to him. I'm pretty nice.
Okay, so kid, what you don't understand, I can't like that's not going to work because he cares. Well, he has very good intentions. He cares more about the letter of the law than good intentions, and since I'm not licensed, he's not going to listen to me because I'm not following the law.
Oh, because you're not like a guard or security or something. He won't listen to you.
Yes, basic, sort of. It's just that. Well, I may do usually good things like heal people as not a licensed doctor. He doesn't always.
You know what? Suddenly, a connection comes into Ivy or into Peppermint's mind. Part of the guff that he has given you in the past could be related to things you didn't know your mother was involved in. You suddenly realize, like, he would get onto you about minor things,
Because you have a crime mother.
but very rarely had anything to prove or made you like do penance or anything, but would like bring
Actually,
up some shit.
kid, we're gonna finish this in a moment. I need to go talk to my mother.
Okay.
I will just get up and walk away to go find
As-
her mom.
As she walked by, Jetta's just like sitting there, like she looks like she started eating something and then just like fell over and just fell asleep. She's just like one hand is in whatever food she's in, and the other one's like. Just,
Me and Starissa eat whatever you were eating.
Yes, Starissa,
Like
what are you
ravenous
doing?
animals. Just get in there.
I was getting food.
You might need to go for a walk soon.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
you want
late, very late, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want me to walk around with you? This sounds a little
Oh,
dangerous.
I'm okay. No, I just need some fresh air.
Okay. You didn't want any company?
Not tonight.
Okay, cool. Just be careful.
I will.
People are killing people in this town.
Yes. Actually, currently, probably yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and go for a little walk.
All right. Starissa, I want you to roll on someone else's streetwise. I want you to roll. Give me a roll on the percentile, and we will say, Peppermint, what is your streetwise? If you have it.
Yeah, I don't have streetwise.
All right, then I will give you.
Freya has it at
I will
52.
give you Freya's at a 42.
That's mine. It's 42. Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 63.
Okay.
don't have streetwise.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You know, like, there were places Freya told you not to go. Like, in, like, some things you've seen around the city that you've been told, you know, that's not an area you want to be alone in. But you do happen to find yourself walking under a sign that swings above you. And on that sign is a bone cracked in half.
Oh.
And someone's like basically slides out of the alley and goes, well, well, well.
Hi.
New to town?
Uh-huh.
Something's off about you. You can see he is wearing
Why?
a...
What's off?
It is
I think
a
I have
white
everything
guy.
on.
It is a white guy with no shirt on, even though it's kind of cold, wearing a vest duster of black leather, has 2 mohawks.
I don't like him.
More piercings. He has a 80s punk villain amount of piercings and tattoos up and down both of his arms, and on his chest several sigils that you can see are actually magic,
Oh, wow.
but they seem like a bad way to do magic. This isn't tattoo magic. This isn't elegant magic. This is someone learned how to draw like a couple of circles and just put them on themselves with scarification.
Ooh, that's a rough way to do it.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And all the symbols indicate some kind of demonic.
He's just getting more and more points in our book.
Yeah. I don't think I want to talk to you right now. I'm gonna go.
No, you should stay.
Why?
Tell me about yourself. You're not from around here.
Well, we already figured that out. I told you that one.
So what are you?
I'm a normal human.
God,
Oh wait, I'm not a normal human. Well, I am, but
you're starting to pick up comedy.
I am? Oh, I wanted to be good at comedy.
That was the funniest thing I've heard all year.
Well, you don't get out much.
Oh, I get a lot of places.
I hear funnier things from my friends all the time.
Oh. Now, you were probably walking around just looking for something, aren't you? Got a problem that you can't take care of? Any of your friends?
Kinda do.
Oh, yeah? Your friends need something that they're willing to make a deal for?
I think so.
You should go get them and bring them here.
You want to meet my friends?
Are they all like you?
No. None of them are like me.
Then yeah.
We need to find a killer.
Oh, dime a dozen around here.
Well, we need a cyborg killer?
So I'm gonna say so do you mean a killer cyborg or someone who kills
A
cyborgs?
cyborg that kills people.
See, my department is a little more, he puts his hand out like this and a little bit of flame comes out of it. Artistic than that.
I can do that, and I shoot a firebolt at the wall.
I knew there was something about you.
Mine's better, though.
Sure it is.
I'm gonna go now. You made me feel uncomfortable, and Jed always says if I was uncomfortable, I should walk away.
I'm Alistair Curtis. What's your name?
I'm Stacy.
All right, Stacy. Be seeing ya.
And I am going to move away from him as fast as I can.
Which is, well, how fast do you move away from him? Because you can move very fast. You move at a very fast run.
Yes.
Okay. It's basically the speed of a car. A bit less.
Oh.
But it is noticeably not human, as you do. You book it. You make it back to an area you know is kind of private, like you find a park.
Okay.
That is abandoned. It's basically a park that was created out of the ruins of a building, but no one's in. Actually, it's the park where you met, where Ivy and Peppermint met earlier. That's a good open spot for discretion.
Okay.
So yes, you take care of anything you need to take care of.
I slink into the shadows and take care of my stuff.
Okay. Peppermint.
Are you eating people?
No.
Would she tell you if she was?
Yeah.
No, I am a normal
Actually, yes.
human.
Yes, she probably would.
She would.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, you would. Like, wait, you don't do that?
Oh, is that not a normal thing? Dang
It's
it.
not normal.
Well, you eat cows. I don't see why you wouldn't eat people.
Yeah.
Anyway, Peppermint, your mom is tending her blooms in one of her several little greenhouse areas. Unless you wanted to run off and do something else and I misinterpreted.
Nope. I'm that's what I wanted to go do. Peppermint just walks in and goes, "Mom, are you in here?"
Yes, hon, I'm just over by the she would say a term for a large group. I'm over by the herbs.
Uh, oh, okay. I got a few questions for you. First, do you remember Julian Tremblay? Do you know anything about him since like I left? Cause
I try not to watch that damn network.
I
He's
just
become popular on there. I never saw that little snot-nosed booger eater.
see you usually know people things about people in this town. You
Well, I know more about his father.
okay? Cause the people. It seems like he changed maybe, and just
I
wonder.
didn't know him.
What do you
Like,
know?
I only saw him a couple of times, and he always seemed like a little. I wouldn't have called him this at the time, but a pissant.
Seeing that, and that's seems like the opposite of his personality on TV. But I guess maybe it's just his show he's putting on.
We're all putting on a show of some sort.
True. What do you know about his father? That might be helpful.
Well, the big scandal about his father that got him removed from politics for a while was that he was involved with a mage. That he'd fallen in love with a mage. And his wife did not care for that. And the gossip was basically exposed him, but he was rich enough that people didn't straight up call him out.
And when was that?
Years ago,
Okay, that didn't.
when you were kids.
That's why. Okay, that's why I don't really remember it. Okay.
Well, it was more of a undercurrent. It's not something we would have mentioned around the kids.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So difficult question to ask. We happened to notice while we were on our journeys, that a small town had a crate that was shipped from here, from the bar.
Oh. I occasionally do special orders.
Okay, yeah. I'm just wondering if that could have anything to do with what's going on here, because I need all the information.
I don't see how that could be related. I don't ship many orders. I occasionally move merchandise for some friends. But nothing that would have to do with Ivy.
Okay. And what do you know about a town called Lockhenge?
I've never been.
But you do know of it.
I think I've seen the name. I'm not sure. I'd have to check my records.
Okay. Just curious.
She's being cagey. She snips something slightly wrong, which is how you can tell she's being cagey.
Peppermint.
The anime scene of it is a petal falls, and there's a silence.
Right, there's the dramatic.
Yeah.
Peppermint will file it away because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And she
says, I don't think that would be related.
Okay.
Not everything we do here is free. And every now and then, some acquaintances of mine pay quite handsomely to, let's say, piggyback on a few shipments. And I don't know what they do.
Okay. Look, I'm not judging. It kind of, I remembered seeing it, kind of clicked, because I was thinking about, what's his name, Salvador?
Ugh. Sir Vasquez Lafleur.
Uh, I was just thinking about how, you know, Sir Vasquez Lafleur treated us as kids, and it just kind of clicked that there might be something else going on than just running a bar.
I know we haven't talked a lot about your father. And but Sir Vasquez and your father were not. They were friends and very close. And when the situation between me and your father, let's say, degraded, it was clear that Sir Vasquez blamed it all on me and himself.
Okay.
With good reason.
Yeah. A good reason.
My relationship with your father was never great. When, except the times it was. And Sir Vasquez was very supportive and easy to talk to. And
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. I mean,
you know how you make one mistake and it just haunts you the rest of your life? That's
yes,
the
yes,
one
I
I would
do.
take back.
That makes sense. I mean, you never really talk about him, either of them, really. This is.
Well, you're older now. I'm worried about your sister. And I'm so happy to see you again. And you're an adult now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure this whole thing out. You know that, right?
I know, and I appreciate your efforts, and your sister probably isn't making it any easier.
I'm just praying that she's staying with Esme right now.
Esme?
Yeah. I did try to convince her to go there. And
You
hide.
know, I always liked
others.
Esme.
Peppermint goes.
But speaking of our past,
blushes, at that, but.
And when she says I always liked Esme, she looks over at a bouquet of white roses that are, or a bush of roses that is still growing, and like there is a white roses on it that are kind of bound up with a bit of lace. Just to make this full anime drama.
Yeah. I know you always liked your mom.
I'm deflecting. I don't think my business is involved in what's happening with your sister. I don't think he is either. He wants to hear her side. But she has a hard time expressing herself to people of authority.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more you try to be an authority, the worse she will dig at you.
I know.
She gets that from me.
That I do remember from being a kid. Well, thanks for answering my questions and thanks for telling me
You're not-
everything.
I love you, and what you're doing is an act of love for your sister. But don't let this become a prison for you. You aren't in charge of saving her. And I know I've said that to you before.
I just want to look out for her, I know she doesn't think so, and I know, especially in the last few years or so, things have gotten pretty strained between us, but she's still, other than Esme, the closest thing I've ever had to a best friend, so I prefer to get her out of this.
And she gives you just the biggest hug.
Peppermint will return the hug.
Yeah. All right, Greeks and Freya.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything more you're looking to try to wiggle out of the data you got? I think you've gotten a couple of leads out of it.
Yeah.
Is there any other thing you're looking specifically for?
I'm curious if I don't know. I don't know if sometimes people get sloppy with like scheduling and stuff, but the mention of Greeks is I don't know. Greeks, is he your friend, compadre, fellow member of?
Fellow Universal refugee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably as far as I go with it.
Yeah. It's not going to say it directly, but I don't know. Like, is there any sort of way finding connection between him and possibly a man or a woman or individual who?
I don't think there's going to be a connection here.
Okay.
You know
But-
that individual is connected to this, as is someone involved in the screed.
Yeah.
But there is no tie between, besides that, that there is no direct mention of anyone like Tyrgix in any of the files you got.
Okay. But we're getting a line that it seems like this Tremblay is linked to this.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. And I do notice payments to shell companies I recognize.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, you never sent any messages off to anybody, right?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
just making sure.
Plan R has not been initiated.
All right. What is the group's next move? Would you like me to list some of the leads?
I think the next move should be to sleep. And then,
Yes, but what are you
Jed is
going to do?
already
Yes.
on
What
that
what are we going to do after
uh,
tomorrow's breakfast?
I'm stacking stuff on Jetta.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's good. That's good.
I'm like this, like my hand is in the food, and it's like this, and you're just like on my ear. Just like-
Bert pushes something back into place.
Nice. Thank you, Bert.
yeah, no,
Um,
Bert is probably very happily like.
Does Freya have any connection still here?
Freya? Does Starissa ask this?
Well, she's not there, but
Well, I know, but you could ask this tomorrow morning. Like, okay,
Okay.
I just wanted to hit the next thing you wanted to do, and then give you something because we're coming up.
I think the next move is to go talk to Kent, the gossip, and
Mm-hmm.
And do we want to pursue Julian?
we could also do that. I think
Julian Wang.
Julian Tremblay.
Tremblay.
No, it's
Juniper Wang is what
Juniper
you're getting
Wang.
confused.
Yeah.
The
Julian
only
Tremblay,
reason I remember that
the
is I don't know.
Screed, the host.
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
Screed.
I don't think we have enough to go after him.
I think we
Legally.
could.
Don't
Well, we
mean
could go
after
back
him.
to the
Yeah.
the
Not saying
building.
We could
after him.
follow him and see if we learned anything.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have enough to build a profile to make contact if we needed to be a guest on a show. We know his guest list if we needed to pretend to be one of them. We have that.
Okay.
We also have the gossip. Maybe they also have learned things. And like I said, I
I'll
recognize.
just run you through the gossip real quick. You pretty much got anything the gossip will tell you.
Okay.
The gossip
Okay.
doesn't have any other outstanding information. And yeah, the next day doesn't have much information for you, but takes up a bit of your time in the morning. So it's around noon that Peppermint gets a ping on their communicator.
Okay.
Embedded in this message is some classified footage from the security forces of of what happened after the shooting with the cyborg. Knowing that it was a cyborg and judging by relative speed, we see a series of camera stills showing a flight through town and then literally removing a layer of face and
Perfect.
throwing it in a dumpster. And then continues to follow the individual through town to a bar called the Poison Pill, a place that Freya has been.
I think that's great. I think we should go to this poison pit, and then I think we should bring all of these photos to that ass kicking night, because I just do think it's a matter of time before he folds your sister in half with a sword. You know what I mean? And that just freaks me out that he kicks down the door and just cuts her head off. So I think we should probably tell him as soon as possible that your sister is innocent.
I think this is a good video to do that with.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is perfect. This is proof.
I would like to check out that dumpster.
Yeah, so would I.
Oh, it's got sticky
Yeah.
face in it.
Would I
You
be
go and
able-
check out that dumpster. That dumpster was emptied that morning.
Oh,
Crap.
And that is a scheduled removal.
Wow, I
The
knew.
kind of detail a professional assassin would.
Shin would know.
That would make sense.
Yeah, Freya would know.
Would we be
Go-
able to catch the truck? Be like, oh,
No.
hey, it
No,
hasn't
no,
reached
no.
the-
Well, it's been
Freya
2
would
days.
tell you.
Well,
Freya would
it's been
tell
2
you
days,
that the
right?
next.
Oh.
Yeah, the next day it would have been.
Also incinerators. They mostly
So-
use
Yeah,
incinerators.
incinerators. It's
Oh.
gone.
So our next stop could be, if you guys want, split the party. Half of us goes to the poison pit. The other half goes to tell the knight the good news. Or should we all go to the poison pit because of
No,
a cool
going.
bar
All of
brawl,
us going
which
to the
I'm
poison.
down for a bar brawl. I'm down for any of it, but
Maybe Kid shouldn't go to the poison pit.
No, all of us
Evan's
going
down for a bar brawl. Kid does not want to fight anybody.
Yeah.
in the bar.
Kid
Evan
sounds
wants
like
to
Kid wants a
smash people.
fight to. It sounds like
You
Kid
sound-
needs to work out some aggression somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Well,
he,
but you
he
don't.
would never admit that or say that.
We don't want to. Well, you know,
Don't wanna
once this
hurt
is all
anybody.
over, we'll go out and you can beat something up there, but we can't really
I don't wanna
beat
beat
something up.
anybody up.
Oh no, but no, Freya's just going to be like, no, all of us doesn't need to go to the poison pill. No, it's not necessary.
All right, I'll go tell the knight. Just give me those pictures.
kid, if you need something to work out your aggression, you can always throw a word.
I don't have
Or we'll always
aggression.
come
I'm
around.
not an aggressive guy. I'm fine. Everything is fine. I'm doing okay, you know? It's perfectly fine. And I put the salt
okay.
shaker down, the tin salt shaker that's crushed. Oh no. I try to fold it back out. Oh no. Oh darn.
Ooh, you do not know your own strength.
It's not me, it's the gloves. It's the armor.
Greeks,
That's fair.
you've been focusing on the string pretty much daily. The string starts to generate a series of numbers. A series of equations, in fact, that you somewhat recognize. The first time you saw these equations was written on the side of a library book in Dwemer, in your native language.
Ooh.
The string is starting to do some kind of math. You didn't tell it about this equation. You didn't feed it this. It's started to vibrate at a frequency, homing in on that equation. And that's where we're gonna. How does Greek react? Or how does Greeks react? What is the scene of Greeks reacting that we end on?
My eyes just go wide.
Does Greeks lift up the sunglasses first?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and that's where we end for the night.
All right.
Alright.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a matter of time before that night. Because if that knight meets your sister's gonna talk shit, the knight's gonna talk shit, your sister's gonna like punch him, and he's gonna cut her in half. And like,
Yeah.
I just see, like, I'm like,
Well,
that's how
your
it's gonna
sister's
go
not
down.
dumb enough to punch him. She's smart enough to
God.
throw a
But she'll
smoke
be
bomb.
snarky.
She'll be snarky, but
That's
she's not
also
dumb enough to
bad.
fight.
That's
But
also
does he know?
bad,
Does he
though.
know where she's not? Does he know
I'm sure
her
he'll
hideout?
figure it out. I'm sure
Will
he'll
he?
figure it out.
Hmm.
I mean, there's only like there's familial and friendship connections to these people. This is probably the first places he's gonna, you know, it's not that big of a town, right? Isn't this a small town somewhere?
It's a city.
Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah,
this is a city.
It's a city.
yeah,
I
city.
was imagining like a small town, like in the
No.
hills or something.
No,
Well then, yes,
just
and then
the
hopefully
name.
we have time. Also, it's a busy city full of busy crime. I'm sure this isn't
Not
the
the
only
Wild
case he's
West.
working on.
Yeah, he's
Like,
got a lot
I'm sure he's got a lot of bad guys to beat up, so that's our saving grace. But I don't know. I have it in the back of my head that like we gotta tell this fucking guy, because either she's gonna fight or he's gonna fight us at some point, and like I don't want to fight a cyber knight. Like they're good. First of all, they're good guys. Second of all, fuck that.
I
They
don't
have a
know why it
bunch
has
of-
to be a fight.
yeah, it doesn't have
That's
to
what
be
I'm
a fight.
saying. Let's get to him and be like, look, you're wrong. She's innocent. Now go find.
But
the
he's not
robot."
the one accusing her, though. It's the.
I know, but him. From everything that we've heard, he's the most likely to just fucking slam her through a wall with magic fire or something. Like that's what it seems like. He comes in with
He comes in hard, but
Judge
he-
Dredd ass whooping.
I think you've gotten a little
energy.
bit of the wrong impression. You might
Yeah.
have gotten too hard of an impression from him. Because
Oh,
he
okay.
Yeah.
is when he knows you're at fault, like he's going to get to you.
Oh, okay. But so he has a shadow of a doubt. We're
He
thinking.
does have a shadow of doubt because he
All right,
wants
good,
to
thank
hear.
God.
Like
Thank God. I thought he saw the footage and was like, "That's it, guilty." And it's like, "Oh no," because then he's coming. But that's good. Okay. Well, then this shows that this robot is guilty. Then we'll go after the robot.
So are they
Not a robot,
100%
it's a person.
sure?
well, you don't
Yeah.
know if it's a robot or a person. But anyway, sorry.
Peppermint and Ivy have the same dad?
They look exactly the same.
Okay, so they are twins.
They're
They are-
twins, right? Yeah.
They
Yeah.
look exactly the same.
Except for Ivy's hair changing.
Yeah, Ivy's done some body mod. Some
Yeah.
She's
Fell in
just
with the wrong crowd.
She actually doesn't do as much. She doesn't eat as well as Peppermint does. You know, a lot more fast food than Peppermint. But
Ivy's probably also out a lot, so that means, you know, she forgets to eat sometimes.
She drinks a lot more than Peppermint.
Yeah.
Probably does a lot of drugs.
It's like beer has H2O in it. It's water. It's fine. It's
Just lives
hydration.
a nice loud life.
Listen,
Good
if
for her.
Ivy does drugs, it's because she knows how to handle them. Because where she grew up with an, herbalist mom.
That's a good
Fair.
point, actually. Yeah, she
She's
would
like,
probably.
no, I won't take that. That's been cut with something. I don't.
Yeah, she'd probably be like, "What did you put in that?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this batch is fucked.
But anyway. So thank you for joining us, everybody, for this suspense and math-filled episode. Abstract talk about math episode. The math episode might actually entertain some.
Every RPG has
Hey,
to have at
I
least
know.
one. It has
We
to have
had
at
like
least
an
one.
episode of Leverage. It's kind of cool.
It
Yeah.
is.
You
Yeah.
had a bit of a heist, and
Yeah.
you did extremely well because you have great skills for that stuff. All right,
Even Bert helped.
and then Bert helped.
Even-
Bert
That's always
helped a
easy.
lot.
Bert helped.
Guys,
Yeah.
Bert was super helpful for
Yeah, and he even got some extra fudge when went back to Pepper.
He probably likes you more than me now. It's fine.
Couldn't be further from the truth. All right. All right, let's go around and give our outros. And let's start with Nerdy Teddy.
Yeah, hi, I'm Nerdy Teddy, and you can find me on Twitter at Nerdy Teddy, and here 2-3 times a week usually for this, Calling All Heroes, New Athenians on Thursday, and Fridays for Warehouse 15, and Mondays I'm over on the Bardic Nox channel playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have some games and stuff that I wrote. You can check them out on the link in the chat or stopping by my Twitter and finding the link there. That's everything I have.
All right. Up next is Maxine.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maxine Bachman, also known as That Girl at That Place. You can find me everywhere and anywhere under That Girl at That Place, except for Instagram, where I am Lady Skyburn. I have been doing some streams here and there, just kind of on and off. And so the best way to figure out when I will be streaming is through my Discord, which I posted in the links, whatever, in the comments
you.
thingy. So check me out there. Also, I have some posts that I do on my Twitter, so check those out. You can see when I'm streaming. I just did another really cool makeup look that I'll be putting up on my Instagram shortly. So creepy vibes, yay! Y'all asked for it. You all did the poll. But yeah, that's me. I do things.
Thank you.
Nothing.
All right. Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. You can find me on Twitter at Shell_game. And I'm here on Tuesdays. That's me right now.
All right. Thank you so much. Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate, and you can find me on Twitter at Reverie_cutie, and here on Tuesdays. And other than that, I'm pretty boring.
That's not true at all.
It's such.
Evan.
Hello, I am Evan Jennings. You can find me at Evan Jennings on Twitter. Me and my girlfriend do a Twitch thing every once in a while called Couch Co-op, where we play games together, so you can check that out. Yeah, that's all I got going on right now.
All right. And Ting.
I'm Ting. Find me on Twitter at TingTat. Other links are there here on Tuesdays, and that's it.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm Kevin. I've been your game boss for the evening. Thank you for joining us. And you can find my amazing knitwear patterns at lattesandllamas.com. And the Geek Along sweater continues. And every week, another awesome clue drops. All right. So, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week at this time. And you can find me Thursdays for Calling All Heroes, New Athenians, where I am also game boss of a very fun game where aliens have invaded and our teen heroes aren't exactly not panicking.
Oh, that's good.
Exactly, not panicking. Exactly.
All right, do we got a raid?
Yes, we will be rating so many games. And we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.